The following is an exclusive presentation of Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
A member of the Commerce and Economic Development Committee will give us his views on one of the biggest items on the state's agenda, jobs and the economy. Next on Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. District 17 Assemblyman Upendra Chivukula puts a lot of energy into New Jersey's climate change issues. Could cap and trade apply to controlling greenhouse gases emissions as well as New Jersey's looming budget? Well, we'll find out. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dallas.
We last talked to you in Atlantic City, mentioning some of these things, but since then there have been new regulations out and support for what we call RGGI. Tell us about that.
Well, I think we have this greenhouse gases initiative, which is part of the regional greenhouse gas initiative, which is the 10-state compact, and we have passed the legislation, and New Jersey had very high targets for reducing the greenhouse gases by 20% by 2020, and we have the cap and trade program where we have a carbon tax to do the collecting some of the monies for the people who are producing greenhouse gases, and those monies are going to be used for mitigating some of the issues that are affecting the climate change. So this is an ongoing thing, and then there's a Copenhagen. There's the President Obama is going to go to in the middle of this month, and so there is New Jersey has made a lot of progress since we passed that legislation, and you have seen in Congress that they have modeled their legislation around the New Jersey's legislation.
They actually say New Jersey may be a model for what happens in Copenhagen, right?
That's correct, yeah. So I think, I think they realize that New Jersey is, of course, California is always the leader, but I think New Jersey is, in this particular issue, is the leader, and being a northeastern state, and the administration as well as the legislators have been really on the forefront of addressing this issue head on.
Tell us how that actually works to reduce pollution, to penalize the polluter, or the one that's emitting excessive.
Right. For every company that is producing greenhouse gases have to come up with a plan how they're going to mitigate that, reduce that, and also for every.
So it's not just penalties; they also have to have a plan to start fixing it.
Yeah. So we're trying to encourage them to do that. What happens is that when you're saying, well, for every metric ton you got to go pay this many dollars, whether it's $5, $6, every it's an incentive for companies to come up with it, because we are producing almost 25,000 metric tons or so of 25 million metric tons of greenhouse gases. So I think the more they reduce it, the less money they have to pay into this fund.
I see. So, and how's that working for New Jersey right now?
Well, we had a couple of auctions. We raised about $40 million. So I think it's going to work out well in the long run.
Well, I'll get back to that later, but I want to ask you about some other things that you hope will work out better. And tell us about your impression of the governor-elect, Chris Christie.
Well, I think his heart is in the right place. And of course, running for office is one thing, and governing is the other. And so he has to, once he has a handle on the various situations, whether it's the deficits in the transportation trust fund, or the pension fund, or looking at the budget deficits, all those things through his transition team, he's going to know about it, and then he has to come up with realistic solutions. I think by himself he cannot do anything. He has to work with the legislature, and vice versa, that legislature has to work with the governor-elect, so that we can solve the problems of New Jersey.
Well, first he has to submit a budget, so he has to have a vision and lay it out, right?
Right.
Overall,
We are
yeah.
actually going to help him so that to extend the deadline because
Oh, really?
yes, because he's getting sworn in on the 19th, and so he needs some time to come up with the proposal for the budget, and so it's going into the middle of February or so, and then he has to, once his administration, which is going to be named, I think they're one by one they're being named, and they have to come together, they have to understand the process, they have to come up with the numbers. It is not an easy thing, it's a long process, especially newly elected governor is going to have a very short time cycle for them to come up with that. And so we're giving that extension and then making a proposal by middle of February or so, when the governor gives a speech, the state of the budget and then budget message, and then turns it over to the legislature, which is going to be towards the end of March or so. They take a budget break and start holding public hearings around the state, collect information, input from every non-profit and every agency that is affected, municipalities, and then try to come up with a budget that is up to the legislature to pass the budget, the governor to sign it.
Yeah, I guess Governor Corzine needed that little extra time last time too.
Right, we have done that
extended to
extension a
him.
couple of times, yeah, because
Yeah.
of a lot of the things that were going on.
Right.
Oops.
You have you were on an election committee to verify the election results of of this last election.
Right.
Now that's kind of formality, but you met with 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans,
Right.
and the Secretary of State. Is that a holdover from another time where the election results have to be verified?
No, this has to be done every year. Every election has to be certified. There's a board,
By law?
Yeah, by law. And there's a board of canvassers and appointed by the Speaker and the Senate President, and then the Secretary of State heading the elections, Board of Elections, and convenes the various members, and then the elections director provides the election details, and then we certify them. And so it's done in a bipartisan.
So it's official.
It is official.
He
Yeah.
is the
This year we had to do it 2 weeks. Once for the special election for the senators, and 2 senators were
I see.
seats were filled, and then for the entire general election that was done.
So not until you say so is it really official, right?
Well, it's together.
Yes.
I think we certify the elections.
Yes. Were you picked because of your position as Deputy Speaker?
Well, I think it's as I said, it is an appointment by the Speaker.
I
and
see.
So that's